On the 26th of April 1986, Reactor 4 of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant exploded, emitting a radioactive cloud that stretched thousands of kilometers all across northern Europe. The nearby city of Pripyat was evacuated, and all 50,000 citizens left belongings behind, thinking they would return in just a few days. Most would never see the city again, and Pripyat was left, lost in time and forgotten. I wanted to understand why 30,000 tourists a year, who some have called dark tourists, would choose to go on an organised tour to Chernobyl in Ukraine, site of the worst man-made disaster in history, and where radiation levels remain too high for human habitation.
We'll go to the bus, and the bus is unable to park here, I'm sorry. There are some strict regulations right now, so we have to pass the railway station and go to the other side of it.
My reason for visiting Chernobyl is due to my interest in abandoned places. I like urban exploring. I like man-made structures that are no longer being used. My family is terrified for me. My mom hates it. And my friends don't really know much about it, but they know that it's kind of dangerous. I just told them that it's something that I feel like I need to do.
I signed up for a 2-day tour and travelled with the group to find out what it might mean to be a dark tourist. How would this be different to a typical holiday tour?
During the visit to the exclusion zone and zone of absolute resettlement, it's totally prohibited to carry any kind of weapons, no weapons, drink liquors or take drugs.
I plan to throw away at least my shoes after the tour and probably the rest of my clothing. I'll probably wear the same clothing for both days of the tour. I mean, you can never be too safe.
Taking photo. You are not allowed to take photo of militaries, of checkpoint like the Pripyat, and also in the perimeter of nuclear power plant. In the perimeter of nuclear power plant, there are only couple directions. We take any items outside the zone, any radioactive souvenirs.
Why are you going to somewhere where it's grey and it's devastation, it's something a bit different, it's something that you have to experience it to appreciate it?
I've always been interested in different cultures and things that seem to be unbelievable until you see them yourself.
Situated on the area of the exclusion zone and the zone of absolute resettlement. Bring in and bring out of the exclusion zone and the zone of absolute resettlement any animals.
As we left the busy streets of Kiev behind and entered the 20-kilometre dead zone, my thoughts turned to the trip ahead and the very real risk of radiation exposure. Although I was here to find out what it might mean to be a dark tourist, I was also driven forwards by a deep fascination within myself to risk the radiation and to find out what had happened to this once vibrant city.
Oh yeah, cool. Let's support my one.
I'm sorry, use this way. Go back and use this.
What do you think, Tony?
Brilliant. Brilliant.
Did you get some good pictures?
Yes. Should have come here 3 years ago. They've eventually made it.
This is only just the beginning, I guess.
Yes, yes. Yes. A few mosquitoes. One one was some writing. Got some there, little.
What kind of things are you looking for, Tony?
Just to try and get an experience of what it must have been like. Try and make sure the world never forgets. Because it can happen again, can't it? It just seems so unreal, but surreal. It's hard to describe. And you see, like, a small slipper in the window. How can you honest the devil? It eventually bites you back. You get nothing for nothing in this world, do you?
Left side, unit number 4, right side, unit number 3. The same here, one ventilation chimney in the middle, right side, unit number 1, left side, unit number 2. Station of the existing one.
Okay.
Then also they found a construction area. It's covered with concrete, 3 meters. Contacted to the
Our journey continued onwards to the nuclear power plant itself and the centre of the disaster, the infamous Reactor 4. As it loomed into view, the tourists seemed unfazed, chatting to friends and partners, playing cards and reading books, as we drew ever closer to one of the most radioactive sites in the world.
Electro project explores 16 different points in Kyiv, Vinnytsia, in Zhytomyr region to find the most suitable place for the location of future nuclear power plant. Okay, let's go. It was 1.2, and if we do it like this,
What kind of shots are you trying to get?
Images of probably when time stops still. Almost like everyday life, and in a matter of an instance, that life is finished, and you got to try and restart again to try and sort of capture what it must have been like. It must have been frightening, it really. And it's difficult to see in this stage of decay nowadays. But just to try and visualise in your own mind what it must have been like those experiences there, especially like young children. They will know no difference, you know. And it's an unseen, you can't hear it, you can't see it, you can't feel it, but it kills you.
Is that why you're here, to understand what happened?
Yes. And hope that we'll all learn the lesson. We probably won't, because man never does, but...
What do you think you'll take home with you tomorrow and next week?
A better person, a better understanding of life. Learn not to forget.
Here you can see photo how they provided evacuation of Pripyat. After each 10 bus were police and also ambulance. Yes, you can go in, just be careful over there.
What are you looking for when you take pictures?
Decay, really, something that shows the opposite of what we see at home. Teddy bears, children's books. I think it makes us appreciate maybe what we have at home, and makes you appreciate your immortality a bit. Maybe we'll go away a bit sadder and a bit wiser. Having said that, it's exciting at the same time.
What do you think you'll take away from it?
Just don't take things for granted, just in general really. Because of how nice these buildings were and now they're nothing, and how easily it can be taken away.
Yeah, you just can't believe this was a thriving city getting here 27 years ago. It's amazing, isn't it?
I think it's really sad how thriving it really was and how nice it was. And rich people from Kiev used to come here, and now it's nothing.
Does it make you think about your own life back home?
Oh, it does. It makes us feel very privileged and safe, I guess,
Yeah, definitely.
in where we live and in the UK or Western Europe generally, I think.
Do you feel like you've done something different?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's...
It's very different. It's
Yeah.
different and it's dangerous.
yeah.
We had visited some of the key landmarks of Pripyat and finally arrived at one of the most anticipated stops on the tour, the fairground. This captivating location was also highly radioactive, yet the tourists seemed completely oblivious.
I've seen it on so many pictures, video games, films, and it's one thing to see it on TV, and it's another thing to see it in person. It's the fact that it was built for enjoyment and it never turned out that way. And it just symbolises the whole thing for me, really. I think the radiation helps concentrate the mind, keeps you on your toes a bit, and makes the whole thing a little more enjoyable, certainly for me.
So what were you looking for when you chose Chernobyl? What kind of experience are you looking for?
Just to see two ends of the spectrum, from being at home where all the lawns are mowed, all the roads are kept, to this where everything's in ruins and man versus nature and losing.
And how does this compare to a beach holiday for you?
I've been on some good beach holidays, but this beats them for me. I'll be back.
Would you call yourself a tourist?
A dark tourist, yes. Today.
And what does it mean to be a dark tourist?
Bit of death and destruction, bit of history, a bit of Eastern Bloc atmosphere, all rolled into one.
Our trip to Chernobyl was nearly over. We had one more place to visit before we left, an apartment block 16 stories high. As we climbed to the top, I thought about the tourists I'd met. We'd all been on the same tour, but each of us had experienced something different. For some, the experience would be life-changing. For others, just another destination ticked off the list. In myself, I felt a renewed sense of being. And although I didn't know how long that would last, today at least, I too was prepared to call myself a dark tourist. As we left the dead zone behind us, more tour buses arrived to take new tourists in, and I wasn't sure if we'd really ventured into the unknown and experienced something profound, or whether we had just been one of the many tour groups that arrived and left. As we got back to busy, modern Kiev, the city seemed somehow precarious now, unaware that it was as fragile as Pripyat, that the bustling city, its people, and our lives as we know them could all end in a moment. Maybe I had learnt something as a dark tourist, that our progress and our modern world is far more fragile than often meets the eye.